Hey, picture this, you finally decided to upgrade the security around your home office, but the moment you start scrolling through endless camera listings you feel that familiar knot in your stomach. Is it going to be a camera that actually shows you clear faces at night, or will you end up with a blurry mess that you can't even log into without pulling your hair out? I've been in that exact spot a few times, reading specs, watching unboxing videos, and scrolling through forums where people swear by the one camera that finally worked for them. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The UniFi Video Camera G4 Pro Pack of 3 is one of those big-ticket security solutions that promises 4K detail, night mode clarity, and the kind of network integration that pros love. On paper it sounds perfect for anyone who wants a professional-grade setup without hiring a whole security company. The real question is whether it lives up to that promise when you actually plug it into a modest home or small business network. Let's break down what matters most: how easy it is to get it up and running, how it handles focus and low light, the flexibility of its lenses, and whether the software feels like a friend or a foe. First off, the G4 Pro isn't a battery-run camera you can toss on a wall and forget about. It's powered over Ethernet, which means you need a PO switch or a UniFi switch that can feed it power and data through a single cable. That's great if you already have a Pi-ready network because it eliminates the need for a separate power outlet and gives you a steady power source, no worries about a dead battery at 2 a.m. But for a DIYer who only has a standard router, you'll have to invest in a PO injector or switch, adding a few $100s to the total cost. In other words, if you're comfortable pulling a cable or have an existing PO setup, the power model works in your favor. If not, that extra hardware is a hurdle you need to factor in. Now, about the actual image quality. The 4K sensor captures a lot of detail, which is fantastic when you need to zoom into a person's face after the fact. The autofocus on the G4 Pro is fast enough for most static scenes, think a driveway, a storefront window, or a backyard. It locks onto a subject within a second or two and stays there as long as the scene isn't constantly shifting. That means if you have a pet that darts across the yard, you might notice the focus hunting a bit, but for typical security use where the camera is watching a fixed area, the autofocus is reliable. The downside? The camera doesn't have the kind of sophisticated subject tracking you see on high-end PTZ units, so if you need the lens to keep a moving person in perfect focus, you'll have to accept occasional soft spots. Low-light performance is where the G4 Pro tries to differentiate itself. The built-in night mode kicks in automatically when ambient light drops below a certain threshold, swapping the IR LEDs on to illuminate the scene. In my research, users reported that the IR illumination is strong enough to capture clear silhouettes and even some facial detail up to about 30 feet away. However, beyond that range the image gets grainier, and the color information disappears completely. Everything turns to a monochrome silhouette. If your property has a perimeter that stretches beyond 30 feet, you might need an additional camera or external lighting to fill the gaps. Stabilization isn't a feature on the G4 Pro, it's a fixed-mount camera, so you'll have to make sure the mounting surface is solid. Vibration isn't a concern for indoor installations, but on a pole that sways in the wind you'll notice the image jitter a bit. That's not a deal-breaker for most security scenarios, but it's something to keep in mind if you're planning to mount it on a fence or a balcony railing. The lens ecosystem is actually one of the more interesting aspects. Ubiquiti offers a few interchangeable lenses for the G4 series, ranging from 2.8mm wide-angle to 12mm telephoto. The pack of 3 you get comes with 3 identical lenses, which simplifies installation. You just screw them on, set the focus once, and you're good. If you have a mixed-use scenario, say, a wide-angle view of a driveway and a tighter view of a front door, you'll need to purchase additional lenses separately. The good news is the lenses are M12 type, relatively inexpensive, and swapping them doesn't require any tools beyond a small screwdriver. The downside is you can't change focal length on the fly, it's a manual swap, so you have to plan your field of view ahead of time. Let's talk software because that's where a lot of security cameras stumble. UniFi's video management system, UniFi Protect, is a web-based dashboard that runs on a UniFi Dream machine, a Cloud Key Gen 2 Plus, or a dedicated NVR. The UI is clean and modern, but it